It all started with a doorbell punch that nearly broke the chime. I was behind my old jukebox, knee-deep in cables, when 3 HOA folks in matching polos popped up like mall cops on a mission. The woman in the middle had a clipboard clutched like it was part of her body, and her smile said, "I run things here. I'm Denise, HOA president," she said like I should applaud. "We're here for occupancy verification." "Occupancy what now?" I asked, genuinely confused. Carl, the muscular one, jumped in quoting some article from their handbook about how homes over 3,000 square feet can't have just one resident. Lisa nodded along like a bobblehead, and then Denise dropped the bomb they were assigning someone to live in my house with me. Just like that. I laughed, thinking it was a prank, but Denise was dead serious. Said it was part of their housing optimization ordinance. Apparently my house was too big for just one guy. I told them no one was coming inside. Denise responded by calling 911. I kid you not, she called the cops on me for not letting strangers into my house. 7 minutes later, Officer Ramirez pulls up. He hears their side. Hears mine, sees my ID indeed, and tells them straight up, "Your bylaws don't override the Fourth Amendment." Then he clears the call and leaves them standing on the sidewalk like deflated parade floats. I should have felt relief, but something told me it wasn't over. So that night, I dove into the HOA's meeting records. Turns out they'd rammed through over 20 new amendments in under 2 months, all via sketchy Zoom meetings. One clause, it let them place relatives of current homeowners into underused homes. And guess who Denise's nephew was? Kyle, jobless and freshly dumped. That's when I called Amelia, a property lawyer I'd followed online for years. She was halfway through her commute when she picked up, and when I explained what happened, she just said, "Send me everything. We're treating this like a hostile takeover." From there, it escalated fast. I got letters demanding room surveys, daily fines, emails labeling me a housing hoarder. One Saturday, they even showed up with a locksmith. I had my phone recording the whole thing. Denise was holding a final notice, like she was evicting a tenant. I cracked the door, looked her dead in the eye, and said, "You're trespassing." The guy with the drill stepped forward, until Boomer, my 75-pound shepherd, let out one deep bark that froze him in place. Denise screamed something about a dangerous animal, and I just quoted back their own rulebook. 2 bite incidents off property required for that. She had nothing. An hour later, I got an email with a violation summary, $18, $450 in fines. Amelia filed for emergency relief, and the judge sided with us. HOA actions suspended. Denise didn't take it well. She launched a public shaming campaign flyers with my house photo, a QR code linking to a page titled "Share the Space." But then twist. I met Mrs. Ellison. 80 years old, walks a fluffy Maltese, and apparently she'd been through this same HOA circus 30 years ago. She pulled out a binder of original bylaws and showed me the golden clause any board member can be recalled with 50 homeowner signatures. So we got to work. Torin, a high schooler down the street, skateboarded between porches with petitions. We got 29 signatures, 2 more than we needed. Denise tried to reject the petition, claimed people were tricked, but we organized a special meeting anyway. Over 60% of the community showed up. Denise arrived in full battle mode, but when I read the petition aloud, and Mrs. Ellison backed me up, the tide turned. The crowd voted 27-4. The board was out. right there in front of everyone. That should have been the end. Right. But no, Amelia kept digging. Found out Carl had set up a shell LLC and funneled thousands in HOA funds to himself. Kyle even admitted under oath that Denise promised him a room for $1 a year. They literally tried to turn my house into a discount dorm. Trial day came. Surveillance clips played on a giant screen HOA board, trying to force entry locksmith in hand, and Kyle creeping around with a crowbar at 2 a.m. The jury watched every second. Amelia's closing was brutal. She asked their attorney, "Do you have data proving housing scarcity here?" Silence. The verdict was swift. In punitive damages. Board members banned from serving on any HOA for a decade, plus full reimbursement of legal costs. Outside the courtroom, I didn't even want to give interviews. I just pointed reporters to Shannon, the new HOA president. A nurse with more common sense in her pinky than that whole board put together. She handed me a tiny brass doorbell that read, "Ring for due process." And just like that, peace returned. We threw a block party. Boomer wore a stars and stripes bandana, and neighbors finally smiled again. But you know what stuck with me? That clipboard, that smug look that moment someone decided my home wasn't mine anymore. So let me ask you, should any HOA have the right to decide who lives in your home? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your take on this whole circus, because as ridiculous as it sounds, yeah, that happened.